From battling through pain no one can see,
Flyweight Division Championship, and now Joshua Marsh from Brentwood, New York, and by way of Long Island MMA comes into Memphis.
to stepping into a cage where the odds were stacked against them from the start. Some of these stories aren't just inspirational, they're downright unbelievable. Today, we're looking back at the most relentless, mind-bending, and unforgettable MMA fighters who didn't just face opponents, they fought against their own bodies, and in some cases, even the world itself. And trust me, you're not ready for what's coming next. Starting with someone who was told he would never walk, but instead chose to run straight into the cage and take on the world. Zion Clark, the underdog with 0 legs. If you thought it was impossible to fight without legs, think again. Zion Clark's story is nothing short of a miracle. Born with caudal regression syndrome, Zion was told he'd never walk, let alone fight. But he stepped into the cage in 2022 and took Eugene Murray to the mat with his wrestling background, securing a unanimous decision victory. And just when you think that's impressive, hold up. His real goal?
Zion Clark, he was training for the Paralympics. Now the PB resident's using his strength to foster a cause very close to him.
The Olympics and Paralympics. This isn't just a fighter who wants to compete. He wants to dominate on the world stage with no legs to hold him back. But wait, if you think Zion's fight against his body was the hardest thing he's done, just wait until you hear about Matt Hamill. Matt Hamill, the deaf champion who outlasted his own demons. Born deaf, Matt Hamill didn't just hear the challenges ahead, he silenced them. A 3-time NCAA champion, Hamill stepped into The Ultimate Fighter and faced off against John Jones in 2009. And when Jones threw illegal downward elbows,
He's doing a good job. Big elbows. No.
it was Hamill who was awarded the win, though the victory didn't feel right.
With one arm, but I tried to defend it. I knew.
But just when you think that was the craziest part of his career, let's talk about his exit. Retiring in 2013 to focus on advocating for deaf athletes, Matt wasn't just fighting in the cage, he was fighting for a cause that transcended sports. Now, let's shift gears and talk about Sheay Taylor. His comeback wasn't about being a champion, it was about survival. Sheay Taylor, prosthetic warrior who gave it all for a fight. Sheay Taylor's motorcycle accident didn't just take his leg, it sparked a transformation. After months of recovery, Sheay returned to the cage with a prosthetic leg, ready to show the world that nothing, not even a life-altering accident, could stop him. He fought Elvis Cruz at Wild Bill's Fight Night, where he was submitted by armbar. But the admiration for his skills and determination was unmatched. And when you think his story can't get more intense, consider this. Sheay didn't just fight for himself. He fought to redefine what it means to be a warrior, prosthetic leg and all. Now, from Shea's rebirth in the cage, let's jump to a one-armed dynamo who took the world by storm. Nick Newell, the one-armed submissions king. Nick Newell didn't just enter the world of MMA with one arm, he owned it. Born without a left forearm, Nick's record stood at an impressive 16-4. With a reputation for submission victories that had fans asking, how is this even possible?
Notorious Nick.
He fought at Bellator, earning respect with every fight, including his split decision loss to Bobby King in 2021, a fight that proved Nick was as dangerous as ever. But just when you think a one-armed fighter is impressive enough, let's talk about Garrett Holeve. His story goes beyond inspiration. It pushes the very limits of what the world thought possible. Garrett Holeve, Down syndrome, big dreams. Garrett Holeve's journey is a story of defiance against not only physical limitations, but societal expectations. Born with Down syndrome and rheumatoid arthritis, Garrett made history when he stepped into the cage for an amateur bout in 2013. While critics debated the ethics of allowing someone with Down syndrome to fight, Garrett didn't care about the rules. He cared about proving he could. And just when you think Garrett's story can't be more powerful, there's the truth. His fight wasn't about winning or losing, it was about rewriting the playbook for people with disabilities, showing the world that they too deserve to fight. From Garrett's defiance, let's move to someone whose body had no arms, no legs, but everything else. Kyle Maynard, the quadruple amputee who refused to quit. If you thought Zion Clark's legs or Nick Newell's one arm were tough, wait until you hear about Kyle Maynard. Born without arms and legs, Kyle's only MMA fight came at Auburn Fight Night in 2009. He fought Brian Fry, who defeated him by unanimous decision, but the real fight was against life itself. Kyle wasn't fighting for glory, he was fighting for his own survival, proving that the human spirit is the ultimate weapon. But here's where things get interesting. Kyle's story wasn't just about fighting, it was about redefining humanity, about showing that even without limbs, a fighter is still a fighter. Next, let's move on to Matt Betzold, a man whose battle didn't start in the cage. It started when he was just 6 years old. Matt Betzold, grappler with a battle-hardened past. Matt Betzold's fight began long before he ever stepped into an MMA cage. After poisoning from poisonous mushrooms led to the amputation of his leg at just 6 years old, Matt grew up determined to make his mark on the world. He became the first amputee MMA fighter, known for his unique grappling style.
3 minutes to go in the bout.
His most notable bout came against Brandon Moreno in 2015, but it's his story of perseverance, not victories, that defines him. Just when you think that's the most impressive part of Matt's journey, think again. His life wasn't just about the fights. It was about showing the world that no matter what life throws at you, you can still fight back. And now, speaking of the ultimate underdog, let's talk about Sheay Taylor's second chance at life in the cage. Sheay Taylor, back again, prosthetic leg and all. Shay's return to the cage wasn't just a fight for victory, it was a fight for redemption. After losing his leg, Sheay wasn't just looking to prove himself in MMA, he was looking to redefine what it meant to be a fighter. His performance at Wild Bill's Fight Night 44 was full of raw power, even though he was ultimately submitted by armbar. But it wasn't just about winning, it was about returning to the fight after everything that tried to take him down. So, if you thought Sheay Taylor's story was inspiring, just wait until you hear Kyle Maynard's undying spirit. Kyle Maynard, the ultimate underdog. Kyle Maynard's story isn't about a loss, it's about what happens when you fight without limits. His only MMA appearance ended with a loss, but his battle wasn't with Brian Fry. His battle was with the world that doubted him. Kyle's fight wasn't just for victory, it was to show everyone that strength isn't about having limbs, it's about having heart. Kyle Maynard's journey wasn't defined by his loss, it was defined by his refusal to be anything less than a fighter. These fighters didn't just step into the cage to fight.
Oh, Cody Russell.
They stepped into the cage to redefine the limits of human will. Each one of them turned adversity into their greatest strength, proving that the true battle isn't just against your opponent, but against everything the world says you can't do. Their stories aren't just about winning, they're about showing the world that nothing, not even the most crippling disabilities, can stop the human spirit from rising to the challenge. These are legends, and they will not be forgotten.